Hello, and thank you for visiting *Barbecue Stories channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's get started. Jennifer celebrated her 35th birthday this year, marking a decade of marriage with her husband, Michael. For this special occasion, she asked him for a trip to the seaside, just the two of them. However, Michael's business commitments prevented him from taking even a couple of weeks off, so he suggested Jennifer go on the trip without him and bring her best friend, Emily, instead. Without a second thought, Jennifer eagerly agreed to the idea. She quickly called Emily, and the two friends discussed suitable dates for their trip. Soon after, they booked a stay at a luxurious resort hotel situated right on the beach. Jennifer was filled with excitement about the upcoming vacation, especially since it had been years since she had gone anywhere without Michael. Traditionally, their vacations were always spent together. But as soon as she and Emily checked into the hotel, Jennifer felt a renewed sense of energy and anticipation for the fun and relaxation ahead. Emily was equally thrilled, happy to finally have some time to unwind, as her daily life left her with little energy or free time. They chose an adults-only hotel, which catered to guests looking for entertainment and evening events. Immersed in the lively, carefree atmosphere, they both felt young and free again, ready to embrace the spirit of celebration and fun that filled the air. On their very first evening at dinner, the two friends decided to kick off their holiday with style. They ordered a bottle of fine wine, but one bottle didn't seem like enough, and they soon asked the young waiter to bring them another. The waiter, with a playful smile, winked at them and went off to fulfill their request. "How lucky we didn't bring them along," Emily exclaimed, referring to their husbands. Jennifer laughed and agreed. "Exactly. This is way more fun." She passed a freshly filled glass to her friend, and they clinked their glasses, savoring the wine and the carefree vibe. Their plans for the trip included lively parties, time spent by the sea, sunbathing, and, of course, enjoying some drinks. They decided to start with the latter that very evening. First on their list of entertainment was the nightclub, conveniently located within their hotel. Upon entering, they found themselves in a large room filled with loud music and a cheerful crowd of vacationers. Jennifer and Emily quickly joined in, dancing along with everyone else. Before long, a young, muscular man with tanned skin and light hair approached them. "May I introduce myself?" he asked with a charming smile. His appearance reminded them of a Greek god who had come down from Olympus to mingle with mortals. Initially, Jennifer hesitated, wondering if it was a good idea to strike up a conversation, but she soon remembered that she and Emily had agreed to fully enjoy their vacation and let loose for a while. So, she gave the handsome stranger the green light to continue. The man introduced himself as Christopher, and he had only arrived at the resort a couple of days before the women. Christopher's charisma quickly enchanted Jennifer, and she found herself mesmerized by him. He stayed close to her all evening, dancing with her, holding her, and eventually leading her to the bar for more cocktails. By morning, Christopher had successfully lured Jennifer back to his room, where they spent the night together. They woke up the following afternoon, and by lunchtime, Jennifer was convinced this vacation would be one of the most memorable experiences of her life. During the trip, she and Emily didn't see each other much, except for breakfast and dinner at the hotel's restaurant. At these meals, they would catch up on their latest adventures, laugh, and share stories, just like they had when they were 16. Chris said he's leaving the day after tomorrow. Jennifer confided to Emily one morning, sadness in her voice. "It's such a shame. I'd love to spend more time with him." "My guy is leaving in a couple of days, too," Emily sighed in response. Before long, it was time for the two friends to pack their bags and head home from their dreamy getaway. Jennifer was reluctant to leave, especially since it meant saying goodbye to Chris. She felt like she had found true happiness and a renewed sense of life in his presence. Their last night together was especially romantic and emotional. In the early morning, as they sat on the balcony in soft chairs with glasses of wine in hand, Jennifer even shed a tear. "I don't want to leave this place," she admitted. "I'd stay here forever if I could." But morning came, and it was time to say goodbye. By mutual agreement, Jennifer and Chris decided not to exchange contact information, choosing instead to let their time together remain a fleeting but beautiful memory. Jennifer was confident she was making the right decision. After returning home, She distanced herself from Emily for a while to avoid revisiting the memories of what had happened. Despite this, her feelings for her husband, Michael, seemed to reignite. She went out of her way to please him, avoid arguments, and anticipate his every need. But deep down, Jennifer knew she was only trying to bury the guilt that gnawed at her from the inside. Hello, and welcome to The Truth About Cheating channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and now let's dive in. Michael had been working on building his own small but promising business for several years, pouring all his energy and time into its development. Occasionally, his work required him to forge partnerships and collaborate with other companies. One such partner happened to be the company owned by Adam, the husband of Jennifer's friend Emily. When Michael met with Adam again for business, he couldn't help but notice the stark white line on Adam's ring finger where his wedding band used to be. With Adam's tan from a recent vacation, the absence of his ring stood out even more. "What happened to your ring?" Michael asked. "Didn't Emily tell you the news?" Adam responded with a question of his own. "Emily and I broke up. We filed for divorce last week, so I went ahead and got my papers back, divorce papers included." Michael was stunned by this revelation, and Adam proceeded to explain the situation in more detail. Upon returning from their trip, Adam had noticed faint bruises on Emily's body that hadn't been there before. Pressing her for the truth, she eventually confessed to cheating on him during the vacation. As Adam recounted his story, tension built up inside Michael. The question that had been nagging at him was now unavoidable, but he was too scared to voice it. Finally, summoning all his courage, he forced himself to ask, "And my wife Jennifer? Did she say anything to you about something like that?" Adam hesitated for a moment, clearly aware of something but reluctant to provide those details to his friend. But Michael didn't need words to understand the truth. The silence was enough. That entire day, Michael sat alone in his office, deeply shaken by what he had heard. He stayed late into the night, wrestling with how to confront Jennifer about her infidelity. Two conflicting emotions waged war within him. One urged him to punish her, make a scene, and even throw her out of the house. But the other begged him to forgive her, reminding him of the many years they had spent together, facing countless challenges side by side. By the time he finally made it home that evening, Jennifer was already asleep, so the inevitable confrontation was delayed until the next day. When they finally talked, Michael remained composed. There were no yelling or threats. He simply told her everything he had learned from Adam and asked her if it was true. Jennifer didn't deny or try to justify her actions. She just sat in silence, her head bowed, which only fueled the storm of emotions raging inside Michael. Despair, anger, and betrayal overwhelmed him. He clenched his fists so tightly that his nails dug into his palms, barely resisting the urge to smash everything around him in a fit of rage. They sat in that suffocating silence for nearly an hour, each lost in their own thoughts. Eventually, after calming down slightly, Michael asked Jennifer if she even wanted to save their marriage after everything that had happened. With a quiet voice, Jennifer replied that she wanted nothing more than to preserve it. After some thought, Michael told her that for the sake of their long history together, he was willing to try to forgive her and give their relationship another chance. But as the days passed, he found that this promise was much harder to fulfill than he had anticipated. In the weeks that followed, they practically had to rebuild their relationship from scratch, relearning how to trust one another. Michael grappled with his feelings of resentment and bitterness, lashing out at Jennifer over trivial matters. During arguments, he would sometimes cruelly remind her that she was now a fallen woman who had disgraced him with her betrayal. Jennifer would lock herself in her room and cry for hours after these fights, and although Michael would later apologize for his harsh words, he didn't truly regret them. One night, consumed by resentment and a thirst for revenge, Michael decided to settle the score. At a bar, he struck up a conversation with a young woman who seemed eager for a one-night adventure. They spent the night together, but afterward, Michael felt only shame. He realized that his act of revenge hadn't healed the rift between him and Jennifer, it had only humiliated him further. It became clear that their marriage was beyond saving. Their attempts to restore the broken foundation of their relationship had drained them both, and Michael finally accepted that it was time to let go. The next morning, he confessed his actions to Jennifer and told her he had decided to file for divorce. To his surprise, it seemed like she was almost relieved. Over the past few months, their efforts to patch things up had only exhausted them, and in the end, they both knew it was time to move on. The divorce went through amicably, without much conflict. Michael sold his business and relocated to a new city, while Jennifer remained in their old home. Now, both of them hope to start fresh, with the hope of finding true happiness and not missing their second chance at building a family. The takeaway from this sad story is simple: don't give your partner a reason to cheat. A vacation by the sea, combined with alcohol and the lure of adventure, can lead even the most grounded person astray. The outcome? Broken relationships and 2 shattered lives. That's the story. Share your thoughts in the comments about the actions of both spouses. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give this video a like, it really helps the channel grow. Take care, and have a wonderful day.